I didn't expect to be on here right now. Sup? Yeah, I'm not sure what TJ's got going on out here, but I did not expect to see my
Bro, I
ugly
don't
face
know
to
why
start
the
the
hell
show.
it cut me off. That was so weird. All right, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. Yeah, it's just been one of those days, cuz obviously ain't nobody doing fucking legendary today. I can't figure
Not
out what
at
the hell's
all.
going on with Instagram. Lord, it's just been one of those days, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. We're gonna go ahead. Obviously, unfortunately, we gotta break down that game, figure out what the fuck we're gonna do. Look, I'll just say this right here. If you're offended by cussing, if you're
Let
one
the
of
people know.
those if you're one of those, everything's rainbow and butterflies, and how dare you criticize the Niners or anything, please turn the show off now. Save our time, save your time, because this is honestly probably going to be a pretty rough show. I normally try to say after a loss, like, hey, we try to talk y'all off the ledge. Shit, I'm right there on the ledge with y'all, and I'm looking down and try to have somebody convince me not
I'm
to jump.
almost to the point where I'm just gonna start pushing motherfuckers. Like I don't even give a fuck right now.
Like, for real, cuz.
Like I'm
We're
not
going
trying to
to
save anybody. You want to jump? Here, go.
um, like, for real, bro. I might go. I might push you and jump right behind you, bro. Like, hey, let's do it together, Romeo and Juliet style.
Hey, we got Miss Veronica in the house. How's it?
What's up, Miss Veronica? We're gonna go ahead and run through our ads because we do have bills we got to pay, and then we'll go ahead and crack right into this shit. Today's episode is sponsored by Power Brand Systems. Need help getting Today's episode is sponsored by Power Brand Systems. Need help getting new customers for your business? Let Power Brand Systems help you grow with their powerful tools. Visit powerbrandsystems.com/Niner Faithful Radio for more info. If you like our content and would like to support the show, consider leaving us a tip in our tip jar at ninerfaithfulradio.us/tip jar. Join our exclusive membership community where you get exclusive NFR content not available anywhere else. Join our exclusive chat, 20% off of all non-sale For the Faithful by the Faithful gear, and much more. Visit portal.ninerfaithfulradio.us/login to join. For the Faithful by the Faithful Season 4 apparel is finally here. To see this year's designs and also save 20% off of Season 1 through 3 designs, go to ninerfaithfulradio.com/shop. Tune in for Madden Stream Wednesday as we stream this week's game on Madden 25. Follow us on social media at Niner Faithful Radio on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, and TikTok, and at Niner Faithful R on. All right, brother. Still don't know what the fuck's going on with. Apparently, it's streaming on Instagram, but it's not showing.
One thing I did notice, and I did this on accident. If you accidentally push, because if you move your mouse off of it and click on something else, it'll restart it. So it's almost like you got to click on it and then just take your hands off everything.
All right.
So that's something I figured out when I was doing my my reaction stream the other day. Is like if you touch anything, or not the reaction, but the halftime show.
Yeah.
You have to fucking keep your hands off everything.
All right. I'll in a second. I'll go. Maybe our next commercial break. Y'all gotta excuse me. Lights are falling off, and oh god, it's not been a good day for y'all, for your boy, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. All right, so we obviously know what happened, and I want to step away from. I want to break this. See, lights falling off. Oh god. I want to step aside, and I want to say this. I know, and y'all see the thumbnail. The thumbnail is Patrick Mahomes trucking.
Yeah, man, you could have used $1 million. You didn't have to use that. That's just disrespectful.
Truthfully, honestly, bro, like I tried to find. Let's be real. You type into Google search 49ers versus Chiefs. What do you think is going to pop up? The Super Bowl, right? Yeah. Mike Debo's in the hospital. No fluid in lungs. Damn,
he's out. He is out of the hospital now.
Okay, he's officially out.
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, okay, so you and I have been, or I won't speak for you, bro. I've been denying this 2020 shit all off season, right? Since CMC went down and everybody started the 2020 shit. And I'm not pointing 2020. The season was cooked, right? You had Nick Bosa out. You had Jimmy out. You had Kittle out. but there's got to be some. I mean, I literally I did not know what was going on with Debo. They said that Debo was ill, right, on the pregame and everything. I'm listening to KMBR and everything like that. I didn't notice something was wrong until they obviously show what normally is Debo and Trent coming out the tunnel with the boombox and everything like that. And I look and I see Spencer Burford next to Trent, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, that's our thing, bro. Like, it's Debo and it's Trent coming out of the tunnel. And find out he's ill. And so, Kyle said stomach issues and everything. You're like, okay, don't need Debo shitting his pants in the huddle, and everything like that. And all of a sudden it goes.
What's up, Sentinel?
Yeah. Okay. I could see that. I could see that 2020, 2021. And right. So, like, are we fucking cursed or something, bro? Like, they had KBR had Eric Branch on the Papa and Lund show yesterday, and he had said last year we had 10 Pro Bowlers and or All Pros. They missed a combined total of 6 games last year. This year they're gonna miss at least 32.
Oh, it's really more than
that. Well, at least 32, I'm assuming including the Cry Girls game. I text my boy and he's like, bro, why are we injured? And it's what you and I have been saying. 60 games in 3 years. 60 games in 3 years. I want to say this. 14-6. I just step back, 1,000 feet, 35,000 feet view. You guys think this is fucking worse than 2020? No, I'm not willing to go worse than 2020. Look, I'm gonna read y'all this, and I guess maybe this will summarize my feelings. What's up, Bebop? How you doing, baby? And maybe this will better explain my feelings than I can articulate right now. Y'all know I'm Mr. Niner faithful, but yes, there are cracks in the armor when it comes to Kyle. There has never been a time that you could say he embarrassed an elite D coordinator like he was embarrassed yesterday. BA is done for the season, and even when Dre Greenlaw and CMC come back, who knows what our records are going to be and how much of an impact they'll truly have. This team's got 10-7, 9-8, 8-9, written all over it.
What up, Steve-O?
I do believe that we'll win the division, but until we can prove that we can play championship quality football consistently, the key word being consistently, week in and week out, only a fool wouldn't question what that ultimately means for the season. Doesn't change the fact I believe we can win every game. Doesn't change the fact that I'll be there every home game banging this Niner gang, but I have to keep it real. The last time I was embarrassed like that, walking out of the field of jeans, I don't want to talk about. That shit is unacceptable. That is not championship quality football. And like I said before, until we play championship level football week in and week out, I'm starting to question some things about the direction of this franchise. I think that sums it up. I think that sums it up. You and I said, we said after the Patriots game, we said after the Seahawks game, do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Mm-hmm. And they didn't do it again. Let's be real. If this was still a 16-game season, this team's got 500 written all over it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is a 500 football team. And Zimmer an elite. I'm talking about Spagnuolo. I'm talking about Stefanski. I'm talking, what's the one in Cleveland? Shorts. I'm talking about like legit. Like, this is like could be a historic matchup in the NFL that Kyle has embarrassed. I'm not talking about beaten. I'm talking about when the opposing team walks off that field with their head down and their coach is saying on live radio, "We got our asses kicked today." I thought I don't know how you feel, Jason. I'll let you give your thoughts. I thought the first half to let that game only be 14-6, I thought was a miracle.
Well, I'm just going to put it this way. I know a lot of people are saying, that this season isn't as bad as 2020, 2018, all that, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think it's worse. And the reason why it's worse is because all the vets on this team are fat and happy. Everybody's been paid. They are not playing anymore. You can tell there is literally where is the heart and soul of this team? There's nothing. There is nothing left for this team to play for. Well, let me rephrase it. It's not that there's nothing left for them to play for. They don't think they can do it anymore. So they're not putting in the effort anymore. Everybody's out, everybody's been paid. Everybody's going to go do a podcast now. Nobody, who on this team is staying late every day to put in that extra work? Who's staying late till 9, 10 o'clock at night watching film at the facilities, all that kind of stuff. TJ, you know me. I've been saying this for 3 weeks now. This team has no marbles. For those of you who watch Major League, you guys will know the saying. And it has bothered the shit out of me. There's no passion in this team whatsoever right now. They're not playing for anything. They're just there to collect a paycheck, go home, and do a damn podcast. And so when everybody's like, oh, it'll be okay. When? How? Who's going to be the one to get these, you know what I mean? Who's paying, who's going to pump them up? Dre? Dre's going to be back in November. We got another month before he's back, to hopefully kick these guys' ass in gear.
And I mean, that's even more concerning to me. If you tell me, hey, we're missing Dre Greenlaw, okay, then I'm looking at Mr. Fred Warner, and I'm looking at Mr. And I gave credit. I told you yesterday, Jason, did I not tell you? Where's the Ronnie Lott in this team? When you listen to Jerry talk, Jerry said if we would have played against that, we would have been swinging it on each other on the sidelines.
Yeah,
where is somebody getting in somebody's face? And sure, they don't owe us an explanation. Keep shit behind closed doors. For all we know, Fred Warner was tossing football helmets out of lockers and everything like that. I don't know that, but we heard after the Yams game that they were pissed, right? We heard that. We heard that they were pissed.
Did it? Okay, we heard that. Did it look like they were pissed? Because it sure as fuck didn't look like they were pissed to me. To me, they looked like they were like, meh. Oh well, we lost.
Look, until proven otherwise, I will always believe that this team wants to win the championship. I think what's happening right now is they think we can roll the gold helmets out and just simply walk to the NFC Championship again. It's like we're cursed. Like, I was thinking about this yesterday. 2019, right? Okay, this wide nine scheme. This wide nine, like, I remember listening to, I want to say it was the Bucks game in 2016 when we had that dude. 3 rules, locker room, beat 1. Standard, it's rings. You're not. You're bad. You're only self-accountable first. Bingo, brother. I remember in 2016 watching, being at that Bucks game where we had that dude who just got signed to from their practice squad 2 days before the game, and he ran for 170 yards or something like that. And I remember Tim Ryan saying on the broadcast that we're simply just beaten by the way we were lining up on defense. Okay, 2019, best D-line in the league. Nick Bosa planting the flag against Baker Mayfield. All that, against Baker Mayfield. All that shit, right? That was a half a decade ago. Half a decade ago, Jason. And we're still running the same fucking scheme. You have Patrick Mahomes walking into the end zone. Walking in. What the fuck were they going to do from the 1 yard line? Throw a fade route? Like everybody in the stadium knew. You're getting beat by simply the way you line up. You're relying on some shit that's from half a decade ago. Half a fucking decade.
There's no evolution on this offense or defense. We're running, like I said, we're running the same shit over and over, and it's been figured out. And it's one thing if you're running a system or whatever that's just like the most dominant thing of all time and people can't figure it out. Okay, why stop it? I get that. But it's not. It's been figured out. And then, then you take the players' injuries to add in on top of it. You have to change something.
Something, bruh. Like, that's the thing that's getting me. Is it hasn't been dominant. Name anywhere on our D-line that we've been close to 2019. Name it. We weren't that in 21.
mean, besides Bosa, when his
Let's be
defensive,
real. What was our pass
that-
rush in 2021, Jason? Nick Bosa's 19 sacks or whatever he had.
Yeah.
That was our pass rush. If, you know,
Mhm.
I'll look it up right now. But if I believe so, if I'm not mistaken, 49ers 2021 stats. Okay, I'm gonna look it up right now to look it up right
and
now.
Bebop,
Okay, so
I don't think these two fix the issue. I truly don't right now. I mean, this CMC is going to score in the red zone a little bit more, yes, but that doesn't fix all the other issues across on the offense. Greenlaw might get fired up, might get everybody else fired up, but again, how long does that last?
So Nick Bosa had 15 and a half sacks in 2021. The next closest player to him was Arden Key, who had 6.5.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you our pass rush was? Nick Bosa being defensive player of the year. That was our pass rush in 2021. So I could, like you said, I can understand if it's been 2019 every year and they just simply can't happen, and you just, hey, sometimes you come up against the Eagles, who have one of the, the greatest O-lines in NFL and everything, and you tip your cap. But what it feels like, and I hate to say this, it almost feels like we're the Cry Girls right now. We beat up on a bunch of garbage teams, and then when we play like a team that's legit,
The garbage teams are beating up on us. Look at the Cardinals.
I mean, fucking hey. You're right. I can't even say that, bro.
And the Rams.
What got me thinking is that, okay, we lose to the Yams, team's pissed off, we're fired up. That's the slap that we went. You come out, and let's be real, offensively, people seem to forget it was only 6. That 1 point, Fred Warner had more points scored than just as many points scored as our offense in that Patriots game. Yep. Right? But okay, fine. We're willing to look past that, whoop the shit out the Patriots. Okay, Niners are awake. And then you go and you blow a 20-3 lead against the Cardinals. Come out, beat up on the Seahawks. Let's be real. You and I were there, Jason. There are a couple plays away from that. I remember as we were walking out the stadium, bro, you looked at me and you're like, are we about to lose this game?
What's up, Teresa?
Madden cursed the whole team. I mean, fuck, it feels like that.
Yeah, because I was literally waiting for that epic blowout or meltdown at the end. I really was. It's just, there's a good team finishes these games, and we're not a good team right now.
I think I think Sunday was a perfect, because Patrick Mahomes played like shit. I don't care what everybody says. You take that third down, that 33-yard run, which what the fuck is Fred Warner doing? Like, what is he gonna do? Pitch it backwards? Like, why are you bumping for the pump fake while he's past the line of scrimmage, bro? I don't understand that. D Winters, I'll give him a little bit of an excuse. That close to the sideline, it's Patrick Mahomes. You even lay a finger on him, they're gonna throw a flag, right? So I'll give D Winters an excuse. Like, what? Let's be real. He's probably played a total of like 90 snaps his whole NFL career. I'm willing to give him a pass on that. I'm willing to
anything that close to the sideline. Yeah, you don't go for it. But I mean, part of me just says, but you know what though? Next time, fuck it, just lay him out. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, fine. What did Ronnie Lott say? Sometimes you gotta take a 15-yarder.
Yep. Sometimes you gotta do it.
Sometimes you gotta.
I think at this point, fuck it. We just need to start taking penalties.
So I'll give D Winters when and this is what I'm trying not to get emotional, y'all. But this is what pissed me off so much is how loud have I been screaming future Hall of Famer Fred Warner. Jason, how long have I been screaming that? Did I not come out on air and say Fred Warner is our best player on defense? I came out and I said I've been championing Fred Warner all season. What the fuck are you doing? Patrick Willis does not go for that pump fake. I'm sorry. He doesn't. Patrick Willis lays his ass out. And what upset me the most is I told you, next week I was concerned about this. I'm concerned about the team coming out flat. Hey, this is a team, we've whooped their ass. They're the garbage cry girl, all that. Mm-hmm. But the team that's broken your heart, man, I was gutted. gutted after last year. I was more gutted after last year than I was in 2019. I was gutted because of how close. There were 10 plays. Greg Papa went over in the show. 10 plays in that game. They go the Niners' way, we win the game. You get off. Now
I'm not going to go for that. I'm not.
I mean, look.
I mean, if you're talking about them targeting Ayuk's knee, I'm not going to say that he did or not, but I'm just saying I'm not going to tell you to go out and deliberately hurt someone because I think that's some fucking pussy shit.
Yeah, but you can't sit here and hate the Aints and hate Dennis Allen because, kill the head. If you kill the head, the body will follow. And everything he did against Frankie Gainston, bro, and then talk about taking out Patrick Mahomes' knee. I did not see the BA play live. Okay, I've only seen replays of it. But and when I met yesterday, bro, I don't think Patrick Mahomes should have got a taunting penalty. I'm all for that. I'm all for the passion of the game.
But I could be thrown on somebody but Mahomes.
But what I'm talking about is you let that team come into your stadium and do that to you. No heart. No heart. I mean, fans showed more heart, bruh. Because they started their and then somebody got throat punched, and mysteriously that shit stopped. Literally, like the nigga got punched in his throat. It was fucking hilarious, and we were noise check that shit and everything like that, and because the stadium was packed. I will say this: you had to double glance at the jersey sometimes, to kind of say, is that a Niner or is that a Chiefs jersey? So there was a lot of red in the stadium. I'm not going to say I don't believe like it was Kansas City crowd or they came in over and took Levi's, but the stadium was packed. The faithful brought it and everything like that. I thought if you asked me what happened yesterday, the defense was on the field at some point. I think it was the second or third quarter. I want to say it was the second quarter. They had the ball for 15 something, and we had the ball for 5 minutes. The defense was
at halftime. You're talking about the first half, right?
Yeah, I believe it was the first half.
At the end of the half, because I remember pointing that out when I was doing the halftime show, it was almost 19 minutes to our 11 for time of possession.
It was worse because it was like 15-5 at some
point.
Point.
That's what it was at the half. How's it going, Mimi? Thank you for showing up.
Okay. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And what makes it even worse, and what Jason and I were talking about a little bit in the green room is, so as it stands right now, your boy's single. I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah, my girl, we'll see tonight. But as of right now, my girl broke up with me. So I talked about this. Are we in that type of relationship with Kyle where it's not about the love that you have for that person or the belief in your relationship? It's more about you're afraid what happens once you break up with them. Are you afraid that you'll go back to your horrible ex that was a bitch or whatever? So you just stay this just because it's familiar, it's comfortable, and you're so scared of what happens. Because, we talked about last year being a big marker for Kyle because last year was the first year of his second contract. So I felt like we could really start to judge Kyle. Offensive guru, right? We've said it on the show. Offensive guru, offensive genius. You're 0-40 in the regular season when trailing, or I think it might be playoffs too, when you're trailing by 8 points or more. 0-40.
And he's 1-17 against D coordinators named Spags, Flores, or Schwartz, which again, those are some of those top D coordinators we've been talking about to give him fits. So, yeah.
So, okay, that's fine, Jason. Look, I tip my hat. That's clearly probably right now. I don't know. I don't analyze the film, but that's a damn good defense, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like I was like, fuck, bro. Fuck. But
LeBron
you know what?
Coaches, damn.
That's that's the reason you're paid the big bucks, Kyle. Because guess what? What you think some scrub defensive coordinator? You're gonna play some scrub defensive coordinator in the Super Bowl? You're going to play Baltimore or Kansas City, right? Like that's the way it's looking out. You're going to play Baltimore or Kansas City.
See, and to go with what Sentinel's saying right here, I thought Steve Wilkes was going to be, because I've always thought the only thing that's going to keep Kyle in check and his ego and all that kind of shit is we need somebody on the staff, preferably at DC, that's willing to call Kyle out on his bullshit. I thought it was going to be Steve Wilkes. I really did, with someone of his stature and being obviously an elder to Kyle. I figured Steve Wilkes could be that. Obviously, Steve Wilkes couldn't, and I don't think that's necessarily something a notch against Steve Wilkes on that. I just think Kyle's ego is that big. Now, someone I do think that could do it, but unfortunately he's already working, would be someone like Vic Fangio.
Yeah, Vic Fangio.
Or Vic Fangio, yeah. But I don't think. But again, like I said, I completely agree with what Sentinel is saying.
Yeah,
he needs someone on there who has a big voice to call him on his bullshit, and we don't have that.
So I had a person I know who coaches Pee Wee and knew Bill Walsh pretty well. And I was talking to him one time, and I was asking him, I think it was after the Super Bowl in 2019. I was talking to him and everything. We were at some type of an event or something together. And I was chopping up to him, and I was like, and he's not a Niner fan. And I was talking to him, and I was like, hey, bro, like, legitly, what do you think about Kyle? And he said, I think he's a good offensive coach. Clearly the team plays hard, things of that nature. He goes, I don't like that he doesn't have an OC. Right?
Yeah.
And we were talking back and forth, and he goes, let me ask you something. Who do you think the best coach in NFL history is? And I said, Bill Walsh. And he goes, did Bill Walsh have an OC? And I said, yeah. And he goes, there you go. Right? He goes like kind of like a Kyle, who the fuck are you to Bill Walsh? Like, let's calm down there, you know? And
look at Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick.
He had DCs. Yep.
Yeah,
he was a defensive coach. He had DCs. So,
and I think they say it's unhealthy in relationships when one person has all the power. Like, like my ex, for example, knowing like, hey, nigga, I hold your roof over your head. Like, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have a roof over your head. When somebody holds that much power, it's unhealthy. And let's be real. In a sense, 2017, we were kind of lucky to get Kyle. Let's be real. Kyle could have gone pretty much anywhere he wanted to go. And
it was him and McDaniels, wasn't it again?
McVay.
Or McVay.
Yeah, it was him or McVay. Kyle is almost like that hot girl that's, a little bit above your league, but, you looked nice and she was a little drunk. So you guys ended up getting together, and now you're so afraid to lose her that, yeah, baby, whatever you want, and everything. It almost feels like that. It's just, and
I don't know if I'd go this far. I don't know if I'd take Patricia
as a
decent.
That far, bro.
I mean, I get the point you're making, but I don't know if I'd take Patricia.
And I don't even know if, like, I want, like, in theory, Sala sounds great in theory, but you know what they say, you can't go back home, bro. And
well, not only that, but now that he's got his taste of power, how is that going to work with Kyle? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And it's just, and after the game, me, I'm a very history repeats itself type of person. And I don't want to come on here and be hyperbolic and the season's over. And like, let's remember last time we got our ass. And let's be real.
That's fair.
That game in 22, or we got our ass whooped worse, bro. Let's be real. That game was worse. This one,
was it though?
I mean, I'm talking about the blowoutness of it. Did this loss hurt worse? Yes, it always hurts worse when you have a chance. Like, it was what was deflating is, we get that pick and we're down 14-12. And it's like, okay, bro, we're going to kick this field. Because I remember when they took the 7-3 lead, everybody's attitude was kind of like, well, we keep on blowing leads to them. So fuck it. Let them get ahead. Kind of like hey, new strategy.
Hey, we're going to flip this shit on you.
Yeah, like new strategy. And you just kept on feeling it because you felt like we were there. We were, okay, bro, this is our chance. This is our opportunity. We're going to go down. We're going to score. And this is where the game's going to flip. And then pick. Okay, all right, bro. Defense game, they got to stop. All right, bro, just pick. And what John Gruden used to call a baby zone pick, because you'd rather lose a baby than throw a pick in the red zone. So and I had my boy tell me, hey, bro, they were 3-4 in 22. They were, 3-5 in 21. Well, my question is,
I'm tired of
cool.
hearing that.
I get that. I get that. Fine. Legit point. We can't argue that. But then you got to ask yourself the question of, well, then how come we keep on having to be in these situations? How come we keep on having to be, oh, we're 3-4, the team will turn things around. Oh, we're 3-5, the team will change things around. Well, how come we keep on ending up in this situation? And what's concerning me is not necessarily the Chiefs game. Hey, that's the defending Super Bowl champions we lost to. You can respect that. What's concerning me is you got that game on top of what we saw in LA, on top of what we saw in Minnesota, on top of, let's be real, 6 field goals by Jake Moody, all of a sudden looks a little, doesn't look as it's week 1. We got some rust, not having CMC was a shock to everybody. That six field goal, it looks more like the Jets were bad.
Which right? They are.
Which they are.
Devontae Adams, and they still suck ass.
Yeah, the Jets are bad. And more than the Niners being good. Because name an offensive game that kind of hasn't looked like that. Everybody's talking about the mixed extra point. Well, what the fuck do you expect when you're on your fucking third kicker? Because Kyle refuses to take special teams seriously.
Which is what? Another non-evolutionary point on this team. So I'm not even getting mad at it because we know nothing's going to change. We're going to come out next week. We're going to run the same shit we've run against the Cowboys. That hope you would think that at some point their coach would have figured it out. But I mean, McCarthy's not a good coach, so there's not necessarily high hopes for that. But tendencies, I mean.
Okay, so I'm going to look it up right now. Because honestly, as bad as it looks right now, the reason I'm so frustrated is not like I think we're about to be 5-12 or something like that. Like I said, I think we're going to end up about 10-7. Why I'm so frustrated and why I'm so upset, or I could see worst 8-9. Why I'm so frustrated and I'm so upset is because this ain't a championship football team right now, bro.
Oh, no. Not even, it's not. We're barely a fucking playoff team at this point. Honestly, it's not necessarily talent-wise. It's, again, the attitude of this team. The attitude is with I'm stumbling over my words because it just gets me pissed off. It's just the attitude in this team is just so bad. There's no morale. Like I said, even listening to the guys talk, I don't feel anything like, okay. Like, how many times have we heard Nick Bosa talk about, we've had really bad losses before. Fucking sound like Eeyore and shit. It's like, come on, show me.
Bosa.
Yeah, but you know what? At this point, show me fucking something. Again, nothing changes. If this shit is that dire, which it seems to be right now, you've got to change something. Maybe Nick Bosa starts with putting just a tad bit of emotion in his fucking voice instead of fucking sounding like he's got nothing there. Just a little bit.
I get what you're saying, bro. I get what. Show me that this cares. Debo with this comment. I don't give a fuck about your fantasy team. You know what I would have replied back? Well, nigga, I don't give a fuck about your paychecks. Because guess what, nigga? I pay your salary. Let's be real.
Well, I think that's a little different because that was people knocking on him for injury. Being injured versus just not having passion. Yeah, I'll separate the two.
Like, I get it, bro. And let's be real. The nigga didn't ask to wake up with pneumonia. You know what I'm saying?
BA didn't ask to get his fucking knee
take it out and everything. And see, like with the drop pass, I remember talking to my one of the people I was watching the game with yesterday and everything. I said, see, the frustrating thing about it is I don't even think BA dropped that ball because he held out on training camp. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point, bro, you're in football shape. Like you've played enough, nigga. You're in football shape. You're ready to rock and roll. Or if you weren't, then you just weren't going to be ready. They're bullshit fans, but those who are I mean, so I get it. And I get the emotion about it. And I get that this is the fan base that cares. Like, nobody can ever, like, why am I pissed off? Why am I in a grumpy ass mood? Why me and my girl been fighting? Because I fucking care, bruh. because I love this team. You know, I love this team too much. My love for this team is unhealthy. I just don't give a fuck because it ain't going to change. After 30-something years of me being like this, stars of the team, the grind, the players like Jennings are more entwined with the standard than the stars are.
Yeah.
At this point, I see. I'm so frustrated because like I see Bosa on the back of that jersey. I see Warner on the back of that jersey. I see Kittle on the back of that jersey. And what did I tell you last year, Jason? What did I tell you? It started with that. We're just happy to be here. And hey, it's still a great season, you know. And I said, Eddie D said it best. You show me a good loser, I'll show you a loser. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing Brock go up to Spagnola. Hey, bro. You think Joe would have gone up to fucking Bill Parcells? You know?
Probably.
Hey, Bill, you just gave my ass a third concussion. Great job. You know, you just beat our ass 49-3. Worst loss in playoff Niner history. You know, and it's I'm just frustrated because, yeah, like I said, I still believe that we can win the division. You know? But, like, would it shock you if the Lions come here and like, let's say the Lions end up losing the division. Minnesota ends up winning, or Minnesota or the Lions, right? Come in here, wild card round. I could see them pulling up the upset. I could see this team being one and done.
Oh, you're talking about for us losing in the first round? Oh, yeah.
I could totally see it being one and done. I could totally see this team being one and done. Totally. And so it's more like, and so I don't think the season's over. You know, hey, you get in the playoffs, see what happens, get CMC back, get Dre Greenlaw back.
What up, Ferry?
What up, Ferry? What's upsetting me more is people say, well, we have no passion because Dre Greenlaw is. Man, you're some professional fucking athletes. The fuck you need somebody to fire you up for?
If they are counting on one person to do that for an entire team, there's something else broken. I mean,
yeah, that's cultural shit, bro. There's something wrong with the culture.
I mean, what is Fred doing with these fucking speeches? Because Fred gives some damn good speeches at the end of the game.
Oh, bro,
is all that shit for nothing?
You should have seen him when he came out the tunnel, because him and Bosa were the last two people introduced. Yesterday in the tunnel and everything, and you should have seen him firing out, jumping out, dreads flying in the air. I was like, okay, Bam Bam's ready. Like Bam Bam's ready. You know me, bro. I need to see Fred Warner before the game. He just gives me that last little extra bit of juice. Like I need to see Bam Bam's eyes, and he was ready until he wasn't.
He got punched in the face.
I mean, fucking A. And that's what's upsetting, is that there was no reason we should not have been motivated yesterday. There's no reason to come out flat. And, you know, Brock played like shit. He's not a $60 million quarterback. I mean, look, is he a $60 million quarterback? Probably not.
Well, the market's going to probably say.
But that's what I was going to say. What is the starting quarterback going to cost? You know, are Jordans worth $300? No, Jordans aren't worth $300. But guess what? The market and supply and demand dictate that they're worth $300. You know, That's just simply what a starting quarterback costs. You know, like you want a starting quarterback, you want a good starting quarterback, it's going to cost you about 50, 60 mil. Like that's just the price.
We either pay it now or we push it down the line to where it's going to cost $75 million.
$75 million, or you get rid of Brock and you're stuck at ground zero and you're praying to get a Brock Purdy again.
Yeah.
Ownership. They found Kyle and hit the backpack. They gave him all the power since day one. They hired Kyle yeah. I did have somebody say to me one time that when you go through. And that right there, pull the comment up again, Jason. That right there, I think is what I have the biggest mission on. A $16 million offensive head coach. And that's the best you can come up with? How many times have I said here?
I wonder what Andy Reid makes.
How many times have I sat here and talked to you, Jason, and said that I believe Kyle is a better coach because than Harbaugh because Super Bowl on the line, Kyle's going to come up with more than 3 fade routes to Crabtree, right?
And he reached 20 mil.
And he makes 20 mil. And guess what? Fucking deserves every penny.
Again,
because guess what?
He changes his offense.
The role, if the roles were reversed and Andy Reid's our head coach, beyond, we would have won the Super Bowls or anything like that, we put on a better offensive display than that.
I mean, at the very least, the offense has evolved. And again, you know what I mean? Because his offense this is not the same offense it was 2 years ago.
No.
You know what I mean? He knows how to change things up in order for game plans and stuff like that. Again, with Kyle, it's like, well, if I don't have Debo, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing out here.
Which, let's be real, Debo's lightweight wallet. What did we say? What did we say about the best thing about Debo's contract, Jason? That it was 3 years. That's what we said the best thing about Debo's contract was. We knew this day was coming. He clearly 154 yak yards, bro. The man who led yak in the NFL last 2 years, has 154 yak yards. What does that mean? He doesn't have the juice anymore. Kyle's offensive, hey, I'm going to give it to Debo behind the line of scrimmage, and he's going to break 15 tackles. Yeah, it's awesome, but that shit takes its toll.
That kind of physicality with how Debo plays has a shelf life. It really does. It has a limit to how long.
And we knew this when he signed his contract.
Yeah.
We knew this when he signed his contract. Offensively, that's the thing that's kind of concerning me the most. Yet again, pulling up Sentinels on fire today with the great points. $16 million head coach. So my $16 million head coach needs to rely on one player to be able to be productive. The best you can do is 18 points. I'll even give you 19 and excuse you because you're on your fucking third kicker, in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's not Kyle's fault. Like, let's be real. He didn't tell Jake Moody to put his ankle into that tackle. But you know what? Again, it's on Kyle's fault because special teams has been an issue his whole tenure. This ain't like something like Richard Hightower got hired as a head coach or something like that, and we had to replace him and everything like that. It's been an issue since the jump. Kyle even admitted my special teams unit only job is not to fuck up the game, which I'm fine with. I'm not saying that we need to go out there and get a Devin Hester and special teams need to win us fucking football games. Okay. But they can't lose us football games, bro. And one of the most painful
we're doing nothing to improve them.
And one of the most painful things is in a way, I think it's better for this season to fall apart than us to win to go into the NFC Championship game and all. Why? Because we're not going to learn our lesson. We're not going to learn our lesson. We're going to think that we can do this every year, and it doesn't matter.
We can. That's that we have a team built to get to playoffs / NFC.
No, I'm talking about start off slow. Behind the 8 ball, 3-4, 3-5.
That's what I'm saying. That's how this team is built and the mentality. We can do this for 10 years, over and over and over. Again, we've done it for how many years now? We're halfway to 10. Ain't shit changed. The only thing we did was we got a better Jimmy G, which, yes, Brock is obviously a better version of Jimmy G.
I have no problem.
What have we done scheme-wise to upgrade any of that?
Yes, Brock did it. I don't want to excuse Brock's play yesterday. I don't. Brock did not
worst game of his career.
Yeah, I would say that. Worst game. When you consider the circumstances, the team in the Super Bowl, all that and everything like that. Game kind of did come, with his injuries on the offense at receiver and all that. The game kind of did come to him. And now I knew this. I knew that Brock wasn't able to drag this team, to win kicking and screaming, especially a team of that caliber. But what's frustrating the most is you saw two teams that relatively played the same. I mean, their defense outplayed our defense, but offensively, they had about very similar games.
Up until about 3/4 of the way through the third quarter, both teams were fucking horrible on offense. It was a terrible offensive game up until about then.
And I was fired up. I was ready for our defense to win us that ball game, Jason. I was. And then what happened? You saw the difference between the Chiefs and the Niners. The Chiefs were able to make the plays to win the ball game, and the Niners weren't. What's happened every time against the Chiefs? They're able to make the plays, and that's the difference. That's the difference between, a Joe Montana and all these quarters we worship. Man, Joe had a shit game. The 81 NFC Championship game, I think he threw like 3 picks. We turned the ball over 5 times. But what happened? When the play needed to be made, Joe made the play, right? Like, Joe made the play. When it needed to be made, rest is history. Super Bowl 23, the game I became a fan. Joe didn't have a great game. But when the game was on the line, he drove our ass 92 yards, John Taylor touchdown, 3rd championship. Let's go, baby. That's the difference. And what's frustrating, and I'm not going to say I'm turning on Kyle, but like I said, there's definitely some clinks in the armor, is that, and my ears are open to listen to the possibility of replacing him. And okay, fine, who are you going to replace him with? Is more my argument than, come on, bro, we're not getting rid of Kyle. Perfect, Miss Veronica. Exactly. Great quarterbacks are clutch. And so I'm willing to listen to it. Like, if you told me, like, if you got Spags, yeah, I'll help Kyle pack his bags at this point. If Spags was willing to be our coach, guess what, Nick Bosa? Looks like you're going to be a 3-4 outside linebacker then, bruh.
Hey, you know what, though? He actually played the linebacking role for a few plays. So one of his sacks came off him being a stand-up linebacker.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally, man. Sentinel, bruh, we gotta get you on the show, because you're almost making better points than I am today. Like, shit. No, bro, I totally agree with you. That's the difference. The Kyle, and this could be very just much his first head coaching job, and how many of us are better at the second go around at a job versus the
look
first.
At Andy Reid.
We
basically have Eagles Andy Reid right now.
Yeah,
more or less.
Yeah, that's actually a great analogy, Jason. That's a great. We're the Andy Reid Eagles right now. See, and that's always been my argument. But who's out there to replace him? That's kind of always been my argument. And let's be real, who's going to want to come here? It's been 8 years. I'm sure some of Jed's reputation around the league has been repaired. But let's not forget, like, we were kind of lucky to get Kyle. Huh?
I think if something happened to Kyle where we want to replace him, with the talent that's on this team, you would have a litany of people who would come here. I don't think you'd have a problem finding somebody. It's just, would you find the right person? Yeah. This team, with how this team is built and everything right now, you would have a line out the door.
Fair enough. But at that point, I'm not very confident in Jed's ability to hire a head coach.
Is it that you're not confident in his ability, or you just don't think he can strike gold again? You know what I mean? Is it more that he can't? Is it that you don't trust him because he did pretty good with Harbs?
Yeah, I'll give him that.
Singletary started out okay.
Hey, you know what? I can't knock him because I was on board for Singletary, bro.
Singletary was. It didn't pan out, but the idea behind Singletary was there.
Yeah,
Harbs was good until it fizzled out. Obviously, Tom Sula and Chip weren't going to work. They were just I don't know what they were thinking with Chip Kelly. We obviously hit gold with Kyle. So I think it's more of, do we think he can hit it again for someone long term, or do we go back to, do we have to have 2 bad coaches, good coach, 2 bad coaches? Yeah, 2 bad coaches, good coach. Is it going to be the wishy-washy? Yeah, exactly. And so
for the first time, y'all seen my my hoodie that said "In Lynchhahan we trust." Right, y'all know I'm big supporter. It all depends on how much we can get for Kyle in the trade.
I don't think we can trade Kyle.
I mean, shit, I would. Or not a coach. Yeah, that might be key. That might be key right there. Like, what coach believes in Brock? You know, what coach believes more in Brock? Because let's be real, he's going to be our quarterback. He's going to. If we replace Kyle, and we know. See, bro, I was all about the "I want winners" speech. That fired me up. I was so happy. Yeah,
I mean, the problem with Singletary is Singletary didn't have the X's and O's knowledge. But as far as like a coaching, like on the field, talking to players, all that kind of stuff,
he would have been a great assistant coach.
Yes, Singletary needed to be a DC, kind of like for life. Like Spagnuolo has figured out he doesn't want to be a head coach. He just wants to be a DC because he's a fucking great DC. If Singletary had that mindset that I don't want that head coaching position, I just want to coach DC the rest of my life, he'd have fucking been an amazing. We'd be talking about him probably in the same breath as those guys as DCs.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. So, I mean, I feel like we're cursed with our success. The fact is that we've gotten, Daniel Brunskill off the scrap heap because you get Dominic Pooney in the third round. This team is just not going to do what's necessary to invest in the offensive line. This team's not going to do what's necessary to adjust the scheme. We're fantasizing about 2019 without realizing it was half a decade ago. It was nice for a year. Teams figured out, hey, why don't we, because the wide nine's meant to stop it was meant to stop Edwin James and the outside zone that the Colts ran. So once teams realized, hey, how about these two gaping holes right in the middle of their defense? Let's just run.
Can we just go right there? Yeah.
Why don't we just go right there? Once teams realized, hey, guess what? 99% of the Niners' routes are in the middle of the field. Let's just clog the fuck up of the middle of the field. Once these things, it's like, we have no answer. And like you said, Jason, once Kyle loses Debo, he doesn't know what to do. Well, that's sad considering Debo's not exactly the healthiest player in the universe.
And we had this other guy named Kittle.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he was kind of Debo before we got Debo, and now we just don't use Kittle, even though he's arguably the best tight end in the league. If you want to maybe throw Kelsey in there, I'll argue with you, but Kelsey's better or Kittle's better, but he just we don't use him as a weapon anymore.
This is what I'll say. Kelsey's just a wide receiver that's big as fuck.
Well, yeah.
George Kittle is a tight end. If you get what I'm saying. Wide receiver, Travis Kelsey's basically just a wide receiver who's too big to play wide receiver. George Kittle is a tight end. Yeah. That to me is the difference. Exactly, bro. I mean, the only person's heart who I don't question yesterday is Kittle Corns and Trent Williams, because they were taking liberties. They decided to take the liberty with the wrong motherfucker, and Trent instantly was like, yeah, nigga, that ain't going down.
Trent is not one to be fucked with.
And Trent had to do that because who do you think they were going to take liberties next with? Brock. And, like that's Jason, as a former lineman, you and I, as former lineman, you and I know that's non grata number one, bro. You don't touch a fucking lineman's quarterback, bro. Like that's automatic no-go, bro. That's automatic fire on, bro. Like you're not touching my quarterback. So I had zero problems with, and so I know people are going to talk about the refs. Like, yes, in the moment was I screaming, "Don't make it so obvious," and shit like that. But it's like you and I talked about last week, Jason, when I said it's just the league just doesn't help themselves. Like the ref legitly could. You know what they always say? They always catch the person who does it second, right? They
every
always
time.
catch the person who retaliates.
Every
So,
time.
like the ref could have legitly missed Trent Williams getting punched, and that player will get fined, and everything like that. The league will review it. He'll get fined and everything like that. But what was frustrating is the optics aren't good, bruh.
No,
When the
they're
ref
not
is
even.
helping Patrick Mahomes up after he gets knocked down, I understand that ref's probably just trying to be a nice guy. But the optics don't look good, bruh. But I'm not going to sit here and blame this game on the refs because the refs didn't have no. Like, sure, were they missing Nick Bosa getting chokehold every fucking play? I mean, it is what it is at this point, bro. The nigga's going to get held every play. Like that, it's just.
We've got to overcome that. It's an old
beyond the Super Bowl, bro. That it's been like that since the man stepped on an NFL field. Like that. That's just what it's going to be.
Yeah.
That it just is what it is. But the optics didn't help, bro. When you're helping Patrick Mahomes off the field after he gets put on his ass, that doesn't help the optics. When you're missing Trent Williams getting punched in the dome while he's on the ground, that doesn't help the optics. When you have players so afraid to touch fucking Patrick Mahomes, yeah, all right, bro. That's bad for the optics. I saw it, cuz. But anyway, Jason, final thoughts.
We have no marbles. I got
the title of the show today. We have no marbles.
Well, that was the title of my reaction video. This team has no marbles. I mean, I've been saying it for 3 weeks now, and I want everybody to fucking know because it's more obvious every single week, every game. This team has no heart, passion, whatever you want to call for it. It's gone. To quote Top Gun, they've lost that love and feeling.
Yeah,
there's nothing there, man. I should never sing again. I know.
And I think we're gonna whoop the shit out of the Cry Girls. See,
I thought that was.
I thought that was kind of clean.
I thought that was Floyd that did that, but either way, I mean, way, someone throat punched him.
Exactly. Oh yeah, that was really cool. He throat punched him. That shit was crazy. Look, Jason, like. All right, brother. I'm with you, bro. I think what's making us so down, bro. I would walk to pick up Max Crosby from the airport and personally escort him to the fucking facility.
This is the Raiders when we ask for anything.
Yeah, exactly. The Raiders are never going to trade
the Raiders are not going to fucking trade us just on principality. No, no other. We could offer them 19 first-round draft picks for Matt Crosby, and they're going to be like, "Fuck you guys."
Dude, we offered them way better package to the Raiders
for
Khalil Mack than the Giants did.
They're just going to say, "Fuck you guys. I don't give a damn what you offer. We're not trading with you guys."
Yeah, the day. Come talk to me when the Davis family is no longer in charge of the team. Then we might be able to talk something about that.
Yeah, maybe.
but to wrap it up, Jason's got to go and everything. But to wrap it up real quick, yeah. I mean, look, bro, you don't know how many times I said "fucking hit somebody" yesterday, bro. Like I felt like I was at a hockey game. So to sum it up, I think the reason why me and Jason are so downtrodden is because this is not one game. This is multiple games this year that we felt like this. And I've been in denial. It's so funny. I always start on the opposite side of Jason. And then slowly over time, I make my way over to his side.
Come to the dark side, brother. We got cookies.
But my favorite part of yesterday's game is seeing that dude that had the same hat as Jason, but was a Chiefs hat. And Jason just, fuck that guy. I was like, yes. That was instantly my favorite part of yesterday. All right, brother.
I'm fighting somebody who has his hat from another team. I'm sorry. There can only be one.
Oh, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, Jason, the way I was at the Seahawks game, it was a good thing I was not that way at yesterday's game, brother. It was, I ain't gonna lie. If Chief fans were about that life, bro, your boy would have gotten into multiple fights yesterday, cuz I ain't gonna lie. All right, brother. We'll catch you on Friday.
Fa Fatai Te Lava. One love, everybody.
Yay. All right, y'all. Well, I hope we got everybody. I hope we got everybody not jumping off the ledge, but I hope we got everybody kind of waiting for a split second to jump. We love y'all. I don't know exactly what's going on, but we might have some unfortunate news about NFR going this season. But I'm going to wait to make that announcement until I know exactly what's going to crack off. But some of y'all know what I'm talking about. But it's been an honor and privilege to do the show. We will be here next week, most likely. Jason will be doing the Madden stream tomorrow. He'll have the captain and media show on, or media and captain show on Thursday. And then Jason and I will be back Friday to do our weekend review. And thanks, Miss Veronica. I appreciate y'all. And then hopefully we'll I think we're gonna beat the Cry Girls. Like I wasn't gonna take more of Jason's time. But when you look at Cry Girls, Tampa, the Sheacocks again, Green Bay might be tough, Buffalo might be tough, Chicago might be tough, but the Yams, the Dolphins, the Lions might be a little tough. I ain't gonna lie. The Cardinals, like we're gonna win some games. I think the NFC West bad enough. Thank you, Miss Veronica. Always love to you too as well. I think we're gonna win some games. I think we're gonna win the division. Why I'm so downtrodden is I was so ready to end the quest for 6, y'all, and playing like this with the team the way. Honestly, they look like they're the best team in the NFL right now. And as much as we talked about being motivated against the Eagles and everything like that, you don't think they feel the same way about us. You don't think they're going to go into that Monday night game the same way we felt about the Eagles last year. The only difference is they can't blame it on their quarterback getting their arm ripped off. But yeah, the Lions basically feel like the same way we did about the Eagles last year. The Lions are definitely going to be motivated for that game. But I appreciate all y'all tuning into the show today. I'm trying to keep the faith. Like I said, I do believe we'll win the division. I don't think the season's over, but some things definitely need to change. And oh yeah, definitely. They want to play us. They're looking forward to that Monday night. We'll see about the show going forward and how this year turns out. Like I said, I think the playoffs are still the goal. Getting in the playoffs is an expectation. But, let's see how this football team is playing before we start talking about ending the quest for 6 again. Even if we go out and we beat the Cry Girls 49-0, do it again. Do it again. Do it again. That's just going to be my response until definitely shaking. Look, this ain't about not being Niner faithful and all that. It's about being realistic, bruh. The performance we gave on Sunday is not the performance a championship football team gives, especially multiple weeks. So there's definitely some cracks in the armor. But please remember, my friends, the San Francisco 49ers don't always lose a game. But when we do, we're still the best team in NFL history. Stay faithful, my friends. We'll see you next week. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners. And especially